All right, so initially we're looking at the G minor diminished fifth shape here, and you can see you don't even get the whole thing there because you're going out of the cage there. So we've got the beginnings of that. We've got our first minor, okay, and the second minor goes 2 to the 4 there instead of 2 to the 4 sharp, which would be a B minor. We're taking it down. Okay, so that's a little bit about the diminished chord shapes. So here, I forget how we even got on the subject of half diminished pentatonic, but we want to do the long patterns. The half diminished pentatonic is 7, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay, and here's the string shapes for it if we're doing the long string shapes. So in the A box it would be 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would become just 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 6. Like that, half diminished pentatonic. Okay, 6, 7, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 6, then 7, 2, then 3, 4. Now here's where we get to the real, the real meat of that pentatonic. And then 6, 7. Okay? So we don't get the 3, 4 there. Now if we start that 3, 4 from maybe a second string right here, we might be able to hear that pentatonic better. 3, 4, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And then 2, 3, 4 going into 6, 7. Again down here, and then 2, 3. Okay, then it's 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that you can hear the pentatonic a little better. And remember, that pentatonic, I derived it from the 2 minor being the parent scale of the 7 half diminished. So we follow, but we don't follow a substitution for the 2 minor, which would be starting the Dorian pentatonic would be 2 following the fourth, 4, 5, 6 root. Instead, we're going to take the raw. It would be root 2, 3, 5, 6 in a raw Dorian scale. Okay, and we'll just, so it's 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and we just start that on the 7. Okay, that's the half diminished pentatonic. Okay, so we got into the half diminished a little bit there, and I remember the discussion was that the E box, the normal E box, here's one, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. You notice how that box, we can count the Locrian scale in the short box right there. And there's also a little bit of magic. That's what I was talking about. Then you'd have to scrunch in the 4, 7, 6. You know, you get 4, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7, 2. You know, you make a chord out of that. Another thing is that the C box, any C box, okay, is also lends itself to an entire C scale. So you can always play that C, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5. You can always play that C in the barred position, in the C shape, which is root 3, 5, root 3. You can't do that in any of the cages with the major root, and you can't do it in any other cages. You can't do that Locrian pentatonic in any other cage but the E cage, right? So these guys, you don't have to play the long pattern if you're playing the 7 Locrian, or you're playing the well, we could call it the 3 Phrygian, but it's really the C box. Okay, you don't have to use the long patterns there. So anyway, if you want to play it safe, use the long patterns in your you know, it's a catch-all scale progression pattern stack. So what do we got here? E extra long and S1. So that defines this cage right here. Okay, so this cage is defined here. Even though the pattern is E extra long, root 2, 3, 4, 5, and then G string 2, we've got root 2, 3, 4, 5, then G string 2 is, remember, now light blue is the G color, I know that, so it's 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to string 3 is the A color, 5, 6, 7, root 2. To string 4 is the C color. And we're starting on 3 here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then to string 5, let's lose the drawing tool. To string 5 here is going to be the E color again, root 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where we started. So that's how I listed them. Now, if we then turn around and say, okay, now we're going to make this a cage. We're going to make this a cage. Okay? Now that we've done our ramp pattern, this is the ramp pattern. Root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3. We just did this. I took this right out of this fretboard here. And you can look at this as a cage. You can look at this as a cage. If we do, what do we got in that cage? So with root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we have a long E pattern. We got a long and a short D pattern, and we have a short C pattern. So you look at our short C pattern. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got a long E, S1 E pattern. A long E pattern. Root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now you can cut out, but it's not cut out. So we go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4. That's our long E pattern because we started with the long shapes there. Okay, there should be a 5, 6, 7 in there, but there isn't. Okay, because we don't have to do that in the normal long pattern. Okay, let's talk about that. Normal long pattern. Here's our long patterns. We started root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we go 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, which is an S4E in short patterns. And then we go back into the long pattern. 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's your circle of fifths, string-shaped fifths in long patterns, because A essentially is A short goes to A short, so it might as well be A. You got C, G, D, A, E. These are the fifths. Only the fifth of E is C. If you go backwards, it's in fourths. The diminished fourth of C is E. So in the C box, in the C cage, that's a normal C cage. Okay, in the cage system, the 1, 4, 5 spells a major triad, C, E, G. Okay, now the E cage is a minor triad, E, A, C. So that's, if you're in the E cage, say you're up here, way up here, this is a good E for me, I don't know. Here's the E cage. So the E cage is E shape. The E cage is E shape C. Let's see what we got here. It's E cross A cross C. So that E shape's going to be on the root here, not on the E itself. That's an exception, kind of. So we've got an E-shaped C1. It's going to be A flat if you try to match the pitches. And then an A-shaped F. And then a C-shaped G. Okay, so the Tri-pentatonics, the one